On day 1, I spawned in as baby Lego Steve. Since I was a baby, I only had 4 hearts. I was in the middle of a forest biome surrounded by Lego blocks. I then noticed robots who were slowly walking away from the area. Hey, you! Do you know why I'm made out of Legos?
Lego-like creature being detected. Prepare to be captured.
The robots began to surround me. I tried punching one of the robots, but it didn't do any damage.
Resistance is futile.
I needed to get out of here. The robots tried to rush at me, but I dodged them and ran away as fast as I could. They were obviously not my friends. I continued walking out of the forest until I spotted a weird tree at the top of a hill. It looked like it was made out of Legos, just like me. If I wanted to survive, I needed to prepare myself. I walked up to the tree and started breaking it down, collecting a bunch of Lego blocks. After that was finished, I collected all of the wood from the surrounding regular trees. I had enough resources to craft myself a set of wooden tools. I then could hear footsteps not far away. Oh no, I think those robots are still after me. I think it's best to leave the area. So I continued my journey and left the forest. On day 2, I left the forest and needed to make sure that none of those robots attacked me again. I also noticed that my hunger was low. Eventually, I spotted a village not far from here. I went inside of it and spotted a farmer nearby.
What are you even supposed to be?
I'm a Lego. I asked the villager if I can have any food, but he just looked angry.
More and more Legos have been spreading around the world. Get lost.
I quickly ran away. Why do they hate Legos so much? I was still hungry, so I had no choice. I ran towards the crops and started to grab as many potatoes and carrots as I could. An iron golem then spotted me stealing the food and started to chase after me. I've got to get out of here. I ran out of the village and escaped the iron golem. Phew, that was close. I then spotted some robots not far away from me. Luckily, they didn't see me, but I noticed that they were with someone. He looked like some kind of cop, and he was Legofied just like me. Was he giving the robots orders? They started to leave, so I decided to go ahead and follow them. On day 3, I followed them into a plains biome. They seemed to be circling around something. I snuck closer to get a better view of the situation.
Robot freaks, get away from me!
Stand still. Activating Legofication.
Suddenly, there was a large flash. The horse and some of the area were completely Legofied, just like me.
No! What have you done to me?
Legofication complete. Must complete total Legofication for our leader, Lord Business.
The robots left the horse and moved on. Now that the coast is clear, I decided to check on him. Hey, I'm Steve. Why did those robots turn you into Legos? The horse introduced himself as Dusty, and he told me that the robots were being controlled by a guy called Lord Business. Dusty told me that Lord Business planned on using his robots to Legify all of Minecraft. That didn't sound like a good thing.
I've been on the run from these robots ever since.
I offered Dusty to stay with me so that he wouldn't be all alone. He liked the offer, but he had to find his family first. I told him that I understood, and we both went our separate ways. On day 4, I continued my journey through the world, and whenever I saw some Legofied objects, I would use my wooden tools to collect them. I noticed that the robots didn't mess with anything that was already Legofied. Maybe if I build a Legofied house, I wouldn't have to worry about Lord Business and these dangerous robots. Using the Legos that I've collected, I started building my Lego base in a nice area. I was able to build half of my house, but I ran out of Lego blocks, so I left my base and ventured for more resources. As I continued my search for Lego blocks, I accidentally ran into a little robot. Ow! Watch where you're going.
Oh, sorry. I just got a little lost. Hello, my name is CR8.
CR8, huh? I think I'll call you Create. Create was cool with the name, and I asked why he was out here by himself.
Lord Business thought I was useless and threw me out of his corporation, but I'm actually quite useful.
Lord Business? Why is he turning the world into Legos?
Lord Business is tired of the people of Minecraft being out of order, so he wants to change that by Legofying everything so he can control them. But he wasn't powerful enough to do it alone, so something must be powering him.
Whatever was helping Lord Business must have been pretty strong. As we were talking, I looked over and noticed a few stone Lego blocks. I went over and mined them, creating cobblestone Lego blocks. Create then called over to me.
Give me the blocks and I shall grant you a reward.
I gave him the blocks, and Create generated a Lego sword for me. Oh, wow.
I'm a guide that helps build up Legos. Lego blocks can be very powerful if used correctly.
Thanks, Create. You are pretty useful. I thanked him for his help, and we both went our separate ways. On day 5, I made my way to a mountain and noticed that some of it was covered in Lego blocks. Using my wooden tools, I collected the blocks and had enough to finish making my my Lego house. I also collected enough stone to craft a new set of stone tools. Before I left the mountain, I noticed something strange. I walked up to the top and saw that the land below was completely Lego-fied. Man, Lord Business and his robots making some progress. Why does he want to turn the world into Legos? Anyway, I returned to my base and used the Lego blocks to complete my house. Nice! Now, hopefully, I could hide from Lord Business and his robots. Suddenly, I heard a noise nearby, and I quickly ran inside. I looked out of the window and saw that the robots had arrived.
Scanning for non-Legofied life forms.
The robots scanned my Lego house, and it looked like they worked. They didn't destroy it. The robots moved away from the base, and I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to use my Lego sword. I surprised them from behind and sliced them down. This sword is awesome. Suddenly, I grew into a full-size Lego Steve. I even gained 6 more hearts. Talk about a productive day. I decided it was best to finally rest for the night.
Steve? Steve? Steve!
Ah! I jumped out of bed and saw Create was standing next to it. Create, what are you doing here? He told me that he was out getting more resources when he spotted something terrible.
Come on, Steve. You have to see this.
The two of us left the base, and I followed Create to a village that was being attacked by the robots. Half of it was being Legofied, and it looked like the robots were going to Legofy the villagers next. Oh, I should do something.
Threat detected. Must neutralize.
The robots started swarming around me, but now that I've got this sword, I was more than ready to handle them. I charged at the robots and took them all down one by one. I finished off the last, and the village was safe. The villagers came up to me and thanked me for defending them. One of the villagers handed me some cooked chicken. Hey, thanks for the food. The villager told me that he was glad that someone was sticking up for them. I told him that it was no problem, and me and Create left the village. On day 7, Create and I began our journey back to base.
That was really amazing what you did back there. Maybe you might be the one who can stop Lord Business and his robot minions.
I hope I can. What they're doing just wasn't right. As we continued walking, we spotted a man wearing a suit. He seemed to be holding a button.
So, you're this Lego Steve that my robots have reported to me.
Who are you? And how do you know who I am? The man introduced himself as Lord Business, and he was pretty sure that I was interfering with his plan. So, we finally meet, huh? It's time that I stopped you once and for all.
Ha! You're not even worth my time. And you're too late.
Lord Business pressed the button, and suddenly the entire world turned into Lego blocks. What have you done? I rushed at him, but he flew up into the sky and hovered over me. All I could do was watch as Lord Business flew away from me. Oh no, what are we supposed to do now? I decided to go and get some more supplies. I managed to find a cave nearby. I went inside and used my stone tools to mine the resources. I was able to collect some iron to upgrade to iron tools. Wait, this is Lego iron now. Maybe I can bring these back to Create and he can upgrade them into something useful. As I walked out of the cave, I noticed a horse moping around. It was Dusty and he looked really sad. I walked up to Dusty and asked what was bothering him.
I couldn't find them, Steve. I couldn't find my family. What if the robots took them?
I told Dusty that I was so sorry that he couldn't find his family, but I reassured him that I would help. In the meantime, why don't you come and stay with me? The last thing your family wants is for you to get taken by the robots. Dusty agreed, and the two of us made our way back to base. On days 9 to 10, Dusty and I returned to base. Using the resources that I had left over, I built a small Lego hut for Dusty to live in. I also built a small place for Create to live in. They were both so grateful for their new homes. I also knew that I needed to get some more food with more people living here. I collected some seeds and lured some chickens into the base. I quickly built a farm for the chickens to stay in and upgraded my house while I was at it. Then, I crafted a bucket using some leftover Lego iron and used the rest of the seeds I had to start a farm. Soon, this will grow into a nice Lego wheat farm. I went over to Dusty's house to see what he was doing. Do you like the new place, Dusty?
Yeah, it's great. And I really do appreciate you doing this for me. I know my family would have loved a home like this too.
I could tell that he was still sad about losing his family. I told Dusty that I was going to stop Lord Business and make things right. I'm gonna reverse all of this and get the world back to the way it was before. Dusty could tell that I was serious about this, and he was happy with my determination. I decided to pay Create a visit. I went to search for him, but he wasn't in his house. Okay. I went to a nearby forest and was able to find him near a lake. I needed to ask him if he knows any way to defeat Lord Business. Hey, you're the one that knows business the most. Do you have any idea on how I could beat him? The robot seemed hesitant at first, but I reassured him that no one was gonna hurt him. I then showed him the iron Lego blocks I collected to see if he could upgrade them.
Well, that's a good start, but you're gonna need more in order to take down Lord Business.
Create told me that there are special Lego blocks that have been scattered around the world. I could use them to acquire upgrades and become stronger.
If you collect enough of these blocks, I'll be able to craft you weapons that'll stop Lord Business in his tracks.
Great, now I have something that Lord Business doesn't have. I needed to find these special Lego blocks and make myself stronger. Thanks for the help, Create. I really appreciate it. By the way, do you know what these special Lego blocks look like? He told me that I'll know once I see it, and also told me to see if I can find out the source of Lord Business's power. If I could figure that out, then I can find a way to stop him and turn the Lego world back to normal. With this information in hand, I left the base in search of the special Lego blocks. On days 13 to 14, I started my journey looking for the special blocks. I ventured through the plains, but nothing really caught my eye. Suddenly, I heard a group of cows from a distance. I made my way over to the noise, but immediately saw Lord Business's robots with them. I went into hiding to see what was going on. I saw that the cows were being attacked by the robots, and also noticed that that weird-looking cop was with them again.
Amazing. Every animal in this world has indeed been turned to Legos.
I wanted to go out and defend the cows, but I remembered that I needed to find more information on Lord Business. Maybe this cop could give me that. I watched as the robots caught the cows. They then started to lead them away, and I followed after them. I followed the cop and the robots to a strange building. It seemed to be some kind of warehouse. I waited for the cop and robots to go inside, and then I snuck my way in. When I did, I was surprised to see that the warehouse was full of robots. I wondered if this was where all of Lord Business's robots come from. I needed to be careful not to be caught, so I quietly moved around the facility when the robots weren't looking. As I continued going through the warehouse, I spotted a chest and decided to go see what was inside of it. When I opened it, I ended up finding a jetpack? This would be great for me to travel faster. I then collected the jetpack. While I didn't learn any information on Lord Business, at least I have this. I decided to leave the warehouse and return to base.
Hey you, stop right there.
I stopped walking and turned around to see that the cop was right behind me. He introduced himself as Bad Cop, and he had a strange hunch that I was tailing him.
You were looking for Lord Business's power source, weren't you? Well, that's too bad because it's not here.
I asked Bad Cop more about the power source, and he told me that it was an ancient power that Lord Business had acquired. I wanted to know more, but he charged at me and tried to attack.
You're coming with me.
I used my Lego sword on him, but it had no effect. This guy's pretty tough. Bad Cop then pulled out a gun and started shooting at me. A bullet managed to hit me, and I knew that I couldn't win this fight. I decided to run out of the warehouse and make my way back to base. On days 17 to 18, I finally made it back, and Create was outside waiting for me.
Steve, are you okay? You look really tired.
I was. I ran all the way back here to escape Bad Cop and the robots. I then told Create about it and showed him the jetpack. He was glad to see that I made it back here safely and was impressed that I found it.
If you want me to make this jetpack work for you, I'm gonna need some redstone. It's the only resource that powers this.
The next day, I went out and explored, looking for redstone, until I came across a cave. I went inside of the cave and used my Lego iron tools to collect the iron inside. I was able to make myself a nice looking iron armor set. That way, I'll be more prepared when I fight Lord Business and his goons. I continued going deeper into the cave and found the redstone Create said he needed. After collecting as much of it as I could, I headed out back towards base. When I arrived, I gave Create the redstone, and he said that he was able to finish the jetpack. He gave it to me, and then I equipped it. Whoa! My legs turned into thrusters, and I was able to fly. I guess being a Lego had its perks. I decided to test it out and started flying around my base. Woohoo! This was so cool. Create called out to me, and I floated above him. He told me that I should continue looking for the special Lego blocks so that he could make more upgrades for me. I told him that I would, and flew off in search of the blocks. Man, flying through the sky is so much fun. I get to see the world from a different point of view.
Help! Somebody help!
What in the world are horses doing in the middle of a desert? I flew down to the horses to see what was going on. I asked one of them what they were doing here, and she told me that they ended up here after running away.
We were grazing around the fields when suddenly some robots started turning us into blocks. We had no choice but to run away.
It must have been Lord Business and his robot minions. Hey, you wouldn't happen to know a horse named Dusty, would you? The lady horse was excited because Dusty was her husband. She told me that they got split up after the robots attacked. They've been looking for him since. Well, don't worry. He's safe back over at my base. You should go there and reunite with him. The lady horse said that she would, and she heard Lord Business and his robots were in a jungle not far from here. I gave her the coordinates to my base and thanked her for the information. I decided to go on and pursued Lord Business. On days 21 to 23, I flew over to the jungle that the horse mentioned and surveyed the area to find Lord Business. I spotted him putting animals inside of a cage.
That's right. Into the cage you go. I'm gonna be rich selling you guys.
Lord Business then spotted me, and he was surprised to see me with a jetpack. He was curious about where I got it, but I told him that this was only the first step towards taking him down. I vowed that I was gonna take his power source and shut him down for good, but he just laughed at me.
You think you can just take the Nexus away from me? Oh, that'll never happen.
Nexus? What are you talking about? Business told me that it didn't matter.
This is my world now, Steve, and you're just living in it.
Lord Business then flew up to me and knocked me to the ground. Thanks to my armor, it didn't take away many hearts. I tried to slice him with my Lego sword, but he didn't even budge. This guy was too strong for me, but I didn't want to back out of this fight. He then pulled out a grenade launcher and tried shooting me. I dodged them and used my jetpack to fly up and avoid his attacks. I couldn't beat him right now, so I had no choice but to fly off and head back to base. I made it back and landed to see Dusty reunited with his family. He was so happy to see them, and they were all happy to be together. I'm glad that you got your family back, Dusty.
It was all thanks to you, Steve. This means a lot to me.
Now that we had more guests, it was time to expand the base to accommodate them. Using my iron tools, I collected more wood to build a pen for Dusty and his family. I also used the leftover resources to build up more of my house and creates. Since we needed more food, I collected potatoes, carrots, and beets, and added them to my harvest next to the wheat. I also lured some cows inside and expanded the farm to fit them in as well. The horses were thankful for their new home and thanked me for taking them in. I told them that it was no problem. I was just trying to help. On days 27 to 29, I woke up from my sleep and had only one thing on my mind: the Nexus. It was the one thing that was powering Lord Business and making him almost invincible. I needed to know if there was any way to destroy it. I went out of my home and spotted Create tending to the harvest. I asked him if he knew anything about it.
The Nexus? I've heard of it before, but I never knew it existed.
Create told me that he didn't know a lot about the Nexus, but he knew that whoever wielded it had the power to control everything.
And that's about as much as I know. But if you go to the ancient library, you'll probably find more information about
I
it.
told him that I'd find out the information and let him know. But Create reminded me to keep looking for other special Lego blocks. He thought it was important that he could keep upgrading me. I told him that I would and headed off to go to look for the ancient library. After my last encounter with Lord Business, I knew that I needed to better prepare myself against him. So I decided to find stronger resources that could help me. I flew throughout the world and eventually spotted a cave and flew into it. I eventually found some diamonds inside. I used my iron pickaxe and collected as much of the material as I could. I noticed that I had enough diamonds to craft myself a diamond pickaxe and sword. This new sword should be strong enough to hurt Lord Business, right? As I made my way out of the cave, I could hear screams coming from outside. I ran out and saw a group of pigs being attacked by Lord Business's robots.
This game is futile. You belong to Lord Business now.
Hey, leave them alone! The robots spotted me and immediately started to attack. One of the robots charged, but unfortunately for it, I had my new sword. The other robots tried to surround me, but they were no match for me. I easily took them down and saved the pigs. They then walked up to me and thanked me for rescuing them.
You must be looking for the ancient library. It's not far from here. I'll show you the way.
I appreciated the pig's help, and I followed him towards the library. On days 33 to 35, we finally arrived at the ancient library. I thanked the pig for his help, and he ran off to join his friends. I then went inside, and I can tell that it wasn't called the ancient library for nothing. This place was very old. I made my way through and looked for any information that could help me learn about the Nexus. I couldn't find anything at first until eventually I came across a book. The book was called The Nexus of Minecraft. I wonder if this is what I'm looking for. I started reading the book, and it told me that the Nexus was the power source of the entire world. With it, someone could change the world to be in whatever shape they desired to be. I started reading more, and it said that the only way to destroy the Nexus was to combine the special Lego blocks into an object that could break it. Perfect! This was exactly what I needed to find in regards to stopping Lord Business. Now that I had that information, I could go back to base and work out a plan with— Whoa! What was that explosion? I immediately made my way out of the library to see what was going on. I followed the sound of explosions to the entrance of the library. Bad Cop was there, and he was destroying the entire building.
Steve, what are you doing in this ancient library? You must have found out about the Nexus.
I tried to use my jetpack to fly out and escape, but Bad Cop quickly shot me down. Ouch.
You're coming with me.
I had no choice but to fight my way out of this. I tried to use my diamond sword to attack, but he was too fast and used his cannon to hit me. I already lost half of my hearts and knew that I couldn't take much more damage. Bad Cop stopped firing his cannon. He must need time to recharge. I quickly jumped at Bad Cop and knocked him down to the ground. You're going down once and for all. I was about to deal the final blow, but Bad Cop knocked me away with his cannon again. I was getting weak and only had 2 hearts left. Oh no, I'm blacking out. On days 39 to 41, I woke up and found myself inside of a cage. Where am I? It looked like I was in some kind of giant Lego block.
So, you've finally woken up.
I turned around, and Lord Business was outside my cage. What is the meaning of this?
This is my new world order, Steve. And there's nothing you can do about it.
New World Order? Why? He told me that order was the only thing that mattered in this world, and that Minecraft had too many things out of order, and that needed to change. None of this is right. You're not gonna get away with this.
Yes, and you seem to be the only one in my way of doing that. No worries, though, because soon you'll be disposed of. So, how about you just sit there and rot with the rest of them?
Lord Business walked away, and I tried to pull out my diamond sword, but I didn't have it. He must have taken my weapons and tools away. I guess I've got no choice but to wait here until I come up with a plan to escape.
Get out, Steve. It's time for your execution.
Bad Cop walked me out of my cage, and he led me to another room. While we were walking, I noticed a huge, strange block at the center of the base. I stopped walking to get a good look at it. This must have been the Nexus that was powering Lord Business. How was I going to destroy that? It's far out of my reach. Bad Cop pushed me, and we continued onward towards the other room.
Look at you. You really thought you were going to stop Lord Business. Huh, now you're gonna get what's coming to you.
Bad Cop then suddenly fell to the ground, and I turned around to see that it was Create. He was here to rescue me. We gotta get out of here now. As we were sneaking out, I asked Create how he was able to find me.
I put a tracking device on you in case something like this happened.
We finally made it to the exit, and the coast was clear of any robots. Create gave me back all my stuff that was taken. Thank you so much. You really saved me back there.
Not a problem, Steve. Oh, we should probably talk more about this at the base.
Agreed. The two of us quickly ran away from Lord Business's base and made our way back to ours. On days 45 to 47, Create and I arrived at base. I told Create that I was once again appreciative for the rescue, and he was glad that he was able to find me. Create told me to replenish my strength and rest up for a bit. I've been through a lot recently. I agreed with him and went over to my farm and killed off some of the chicken. Then I cooked the meat and quickly ate it. Wow, I can't believe that Nexus block was what's powering Lord Business. I quickly returned to Create and told him about what I found back at the library. He told me that that was good news, but I was bummed out that I couldn't find any of the other upgrades.
Well, lucky for you, I found something that could be very useful in your fight against Lord Business.
Create told me that I could find my next upgrade in the desert, but he advised me to prepare myself beforehand. I thanked him for the information and headed off into the world. I ventured out in search of more materials to help upgrade myself. Whatever was out there in the desert must be very dangerous. I found a cave and decided to go inside and check for resources. As I went deeper into the cave, I spotted some diamonds. Using my diamond pickaxe, I mined all of the diamonds that I saw and collected them. I managed to find enough to craft myself diamond boots and a diamond helmet. That should protect me from whatever danger I was about to face. I made my way out of the cave and continued my journey to the desert. As I journeyed deeper inside, I remembered what Create told me.
The upgrade you're looking for is being protected by a very strong robot. Be on the lookout for it. He won't be hard to spot.
Suddenly, explosions can be heard in the distance, and the ground started to shake. What was that? As I ran towards the noise, I spotted a huge robot. He looked like a warden, and he was attacking a mob of husks. I needed to go and stop him. On days 51 to 53, I confronted the Lego warden. He was attacking these husks for no reason. Hey, stop that! The warden stopped shooting and turned his attention to me.
How interesting. A Lego life form.
The name's Lego Steve, and you have something that belongs to me. I told the warden Warden to give me his hand cannon.
I refuse. If you want this cannon, you will have to take it from me.
I guess there was no other option. We began our fight, and the Lego Warden fired the cannon at me. I quickly dodged it, but he was too fast and used his shell to knock me to the ground. Ow. Good thing this new armor protected me. I pulled out my diamond sword and began my counterattack. The Warden tried shooting me with his cannon again, but I dodged it. Eventually, I got close enough to slice the Warden with my diamond sword, greatly wounding him. I could tell that the Lego Warden was upset because he tried to charge up another shout. Luckily, I dealt the final blow, killing the Lego Warden for good. I noticed the hand cannon that was on the ground, so I grabbed it and made my way back to base. I returned, and Create was outside of his house waiting for me.
Were you able to obtain the upgrade, Steve?
Yeah, I did, but you could have at least told me that the robot was a warden. That guy was no joke. Create laughed and said that he knew that I would be able to take him down. I gave the cannon to my robot friend, and he was able to upgrade it onto my body. Now, I had a stronger weapon that would help me against Lord Business.
Steve, I was able to detect one of the special Lego blocks not far from here.
Create told me that he detected the Lego block deep inside of a cave. He also told me that I needed to hurry before Lord Business realizes what I'm up to. I agreed with Create and was excited to go out and test my new hand cannon. I was about to leave the base, but Create stopped me and gave me back my jetpack. He told me that he was able to fix it while I was gone. Oh wow, thanks. I equipped it and flew off towards the cave. On days 57 to 59, I made it to the cave that Create told me about. Hopefully, I'll be able to find the special Lego block here, especially before anyone notices. I went inside and couldn't find it anywhere. Where could it be? I continued going deeper into the cave until I reached what looked like a Lego temple. Maybe that's where the lucky block was. I entered the temple, and the place was full of spiders and skeletons. It's time to test out my new cannon. Fired my cannon at them, instantly killing them. This was so awesome. Compared to Lord Business's minions, these guys were nothing. I then used my hand cannon again and easily finished off the skeletons. I made my way deeper inside of the temple until I finally reached a shrine that was holding a Lego block. Nice. I collected the Lego block and made my way out of the cave. Now, I was one step closer to shutting down the Nexus. I was walking outside of the cave when I accidentally ran into Lord Business.
Steve, what are you doing here?
Mining for resources? Lord Business knew that I was lying, but I refused to tell him the truth.
No matter. Time to die.
He shot his grenade launcher at me, but I quickly jumped out of the way and dodged the attack. I then shot my hand cannon at him. The cannon was able to hit Lord Business and send him flying. Yes! I was finally able to deal some damage to him.
Oh no, you're actually gonna kill me. Psych!
He then immediately got back up and was completely healed. How did you do that? He told me that the Nexus not only grants the user power, but also a healing factor. Hey, that's not fair. Lord Business had hit me with his grenade launcher, and I already lost half of my heart. I couldn't do anything to him until I shut down the Nexus. I had no choice but to fly off and head back to base. On days 63 to 65, I landed and told Create that I was able to retrieve the special Lego block. He said that that was good news, but I told him the bad news was that I encountered Business again. I reassured Create that he doesn't know what we're up to, but we needed to find the rest of the Lego blocks fast.
Once we acquire all 3 of the special Lego blocks, we'll be able to craft the Lego pickaxe. This pickaxe can be used to destroy the Nexus.
That's great. Now we knew how to destroy the Nexus and beat Lord Business. Create then suggested that the special blocks be kept in a safe place, and I had a perfect idea. I made more upgrades to the base and made my house bigger. I also upgraded Create's house and added a nice little safe inside of it. Now the special Lego blocks can be hidden from any intruders. Create thanked me for the upgrades and told me that he was able to find the location of the next block.
The second Lego block is located inside of an ice temple. You be careful.
I told him that I would and flew off towards the ice temple. I made it to the snow biome and was on my way towards the temple. I continued flying, but I spotted someone walking towards it too. Was that Bad Cop? Why was he going to the ice temple? I landed in front of him. I demanded to know what he was doing here, but he refused.
That's none of your business. It's time for some payback.
Bad Cop fired his cannon at me, but I quickly dodged the attack. 2 can play at that game. I fired my hand cannon at Bad Cop and immediately knocked him away. I was much stronger than before. Bad Cop got angry and started charging at me, but I knocked him aside with my diamond sword. I shot him again with my hand cannon and greatly damaged him. Bad Cop knew that he wasn't gonna win this fight, so he ran off. I wanted to chase after him, but the special Lego block was more important, so I flew off and continued towards the temple.
And what brings you back here so soon?
Sir, Steve is heading towards the Ice Temple. I think he's after the special Lego blocks.
I knew he was after them. It's time we go and pay Lego Steve a visit.
On days 69 to 71, I finally made it to the Ice Temple, and the place was huge. I went inside, and there was an insane parkour area. This must have been the trial to reach the second Lego block. This would take someone forever to get to. Wait a second. I have a jetpack. I flew up and spotted the special Lego block at the top of the temple. I flew over the parkour area and landed right where the special Lego block was placed. Man, that would have sucked if I didn't have this thing. I walked up and grabbed the special Lego block. I just needed one more block to create the Lego pickaxe. I flew out of the Ice Temple and headed back towards base. As I was walking back, I noticed that my base was completely engulfed in flames. Hey, what's going on? I needed to get back there quick. My friends could be in trouble. I arrived just to see Lord Business and Bad Cop standing there, looking at the chaos. How were you able to find me?
It was easy, Steve. You have something that belongs to me, and I always know where my robots are.
He must have put a tracking device on Create. I ran towards his house, but Bad Cop got in my way.
We have some unfinished business.
He hit me with his cannon and knocked me away from Create's house. You want to settle this now, Bad Cop? Fine, so be it. He fired at me again, but I dodged it. I quickly jumped around and kept dodging his shots. I then landed right behind Bad Cop and hit him directly with my hand cannon, knocking him to the ground.
You stay away from me!
Rejoice, CR8. You actually have a use for me.
I fired my hand cannon on Bad Cop, finally defeating him. I turned around and saw Lord Business leaving with Create. Wait, no, get back here! I ran after them as fast as I could, but they were outrunning me. Man, they were too far away. I need to figure out a way to get Create back. On days 75 to 77, I quickly worked on repairing my base. I built our homes and farms and made the base look normal again. Now, the only problem was that Lord Business had taken Create away from me. I couldn't stop Lord Business without Create's help. I went inside of Create's house to look for clues. The safe was still intact. That's a good sign. Lord Business didn't take the special Lego blocks. I took them with me and kept investigating until I came across a note. Create must have left this behind for me. The note was instructions to make a new Lego armor set. Interesting. I went inside of a cave following the instructions. I used my diamond pickaxe to collect more diamonds to complete my diamond armor set. Then I collected the redstones that were inside the cave. I merged the redstone with my diamond armor and it transformed into my new Lego armor set. Sweet. Now that I have this, I should be more than capable of rescuing Create. Hold on, buddy. I'm coming.
I refuse to help you, Lord Business.
That's too bad. Who said you had a choice in the matter?
What is your bidding, Lord Business?
Excellent. You will be the final piece to my plan.
I walked over to Lord Business's base to find and rescue Create. I made it in front of the base and quickly went into hiding. Lord Business's robots passed right by me, and I had to wait until the coast was clear. Afterwards, I went inside of it and looked for Create. I eventually spotted him and went over to him. Oh, buddy, I'm so glad to see you safe. Come on, we gotta go before Lord Business comes back.
Lord Business was right. He said that you would come here.
A huge robot then suddenly walked up from behind. Create? What's going on? I could tell that he had been reprogrammed by Lord Business. He then ordered the new creation to attack me, but I dodged all of its attacks. Create, stop this! The robot kept attacking. Come on, Create. I know this isn't you.
You know nothing.
Please, stop this now. My friend's creation managed to knock me to the ground and stood over me. Please, remember everything that we've been through. The creation was about to kill me, but Create then jumped in and fought him off.
Stay away from my friend!
It looked like he was able to gain control again, but it didn't last much longer because the creation shot at him. No! I got up and blasted the creation, killing him for good. Create, I'm so sorry. Please stay with me.
Please, stop, Lord Business.
I watched as my friend died before my eyes. I left Lord Business's base and headed back to mine. On days 81 to 85, I returned to base, and Dusty was there waiting for me.
I'm glad to see you back safely. Where's CR8?
I gave Dusty the bad news that Create had died, and Dusty was very sad to hear it. I couldn't let him die in vain. I needed to honor him, so I built a grave for us to mourn. I'm sorry that I couldn't save you, Create, and I promise to stop Lord Business and bring the world back to normal. I just needed to figure out how to build the pickaxe without him. Dusty came over and told me that he had some information.
While you were busy on your adventures, CR8 told me there was a guide for this pickaxe in the Badlands.
Thanks, Dusty. I'm going to need the last special Lego block before I can make the pickaxe. I went out of the base and headed straight for the Badlands. I arrived inside of the Badlands and began my journey to find this guide. As I ventured deeper into it, I found myself in front of a large building. Maybe this was where the guide was. I entered inside and walked down the aisle, noticing a bunch of books around the building. This must have been some kind of archive. I reached the center of the building, and there was a large computer towering over me.
Greetings, Lego Steve. I am AI, and I have been waiting for you.
AI told me that he knew about my search for the special Lego blocks and shutting down the Nexus. Do you know where the last one is?
I do. I have it right here for you.
The computer dropped the last block in front of me. He then told me to combine the Lego blocks together. I did as he asked, and my inventory revealed the Lego pickaxe. Now I can go stop Lord Business once and for all. I thanked AI for his help and made my way back to base. On days 91 and 94, I returned and showed Dusty the Lego pickaxe.
Wow, so this is the item that's gonna shut down the Nexus?
That's right. With this, Lord Business can kiss his Lego world goodbye. Dusty was relieved to hear that and asked me if I was ready to face Lord Business.
You do know that he and his robots are gonna be waiting for you. Are you ready to take them on?
I told him that I was, and that I had to. I was the only one capable of stopping him. Dusty wanted to come and help, but I told him that he needed to stay at the base and protect his family in case anything happened. He agreed and wished me luck in my upcoming battle. I thanked him for all of his help and went over to Create's grave. Thanks to you, I'll finally undo all of the wrongs that Lord Business has done. I promise that I'm gonna fix this and make the world a better place. I looked back at my home one last time and went off toward Lord Business's base. It was time to end this. I reached the outside of his base and an army of his robots were there waiting for me. Lord Business, I know you can hear me. Your reign of terror ends now.
Robots, destroy Lego Steve.
The robots turned their attention and came charging at me.
Must destroy Lego Steve.
I then used my hand cannon to blast some of them into pieces. I flew down to the opening that the robots left and began my assault. I charged at one, using my diamond pickaxe to cut it down. A robot then came over and attacked me, but thanks to my new Lego armor, it didn't even leave a scratch. I cut the robot down with my sword and started taking each robot down one by one. There was still a small group of them left, and I used my hand cannon to quickly dispose of them. Your robot army is finished, Lord Business. Now all that's left is you.
You want to finish this? Then fine. Come on in.
I walked over to the entrance and entered inside. On day 100, I made it inside of his base, and Business was standing next to the Nexus. It's over, Lord Business. I have the Lego pickaxe, so give up now or suffer the consequences.
You think I'm just going to give up now because you have that pickaxe? Ha! Please. I'll never let you get near the Nexus.
Have it your way then. Lord Business jumped down to the ground, and we began our final fight. He had a fire cannon and sent me flying across the room. The damage wasn't too bad thanks to my Lego armor. He tried to fire the cannon again, but I used my diamond sword to knock him to the ground. Before I could hit Lord Business, he fired the cannon and greatly injured me. I was in a lot of pain, but I knew that I needed to stop him. He tried to shoot at me, and I dodged it and used my hand cannon to blow him away. I could tell that he was severely wounded, but he was starting to heal again.
You cannot stop me.
We'll see about that. I used my cannon again and again, and I can tell it was doing some serious damage to him.
Stop! My vision of the Lego world can't come to an end.
Goodbye, Lord Business. I blasted the cannon one last time, and he was down for the count. I knew that there was one last thing I had to do. I used Lego blocks to build up to the Nexus, and then used the Lego pickaxe to destroy it. With the Nexus destroyed, Minecraft converted back to the way it was.